Hey everyone, Chad back with Kinetics for another at-home or travel workout. So you shouldn't actually need any equipment today. A lot of times we give you an option that you can add it into some of the elements that we're doing. Today you really shouldn't need anything. Keep in mind there's going to be ranges in terms of repetitions and sets and durations, those sort of things. That should be applied based on how much time you have to work out and where your fitness level is at. So we'll go through our prep, sweat, and breathe portion today. Our prep is going to be 4 different movements. We have 3 to 4 sets or 3 to 4 cycles through these 4 movements. Let's get started. First one is 1 minute of shadow boxing. So again, goal here, elevate the heart rate, loosen up a little bit, have some fun, right? We don't expect you to be a Golden Gloves boxer or anything along those lines, but we're just gonna stay light on the balls of our feet, hands are up, and we're gonna work on moving side to side, stepping that footwork. We got some jabs, some cross, turn the hip when you do that. If you just stick with those 2, that's fine. Jab, cross, right? If you wanna throw some hooks and some uppercuts, right? Anything, mix it up a little bit if you have some experience. Have fun with this, you guys, right? Channel your inner Muhammad Ali. We got a minute of shadow boxing. Once you're done there, we're gonna go into an air squat with a thoracic reach. So all you're doing here, getting yourself down to the bottom of your air squat. Once I'm here, I'm anchoring my arm on the inside of my thigh, and I'm gonna rotate up, reaching for the sky, other side, rotate, reaching for the sky. Nice and smooth and controlled like I just showed you, right? I'm not trying to fly my arms up there as fast as I can. I want to dig in with that down arm and use it to pry and kind of anchor myself against as I reach and try and rotate that upper back. You have 8 to 10 reps there. Once you finish those, we're going to have 8 to 10 reps of a seated knee tuck. So you'll find a place on the floor, using our hands as a little kickstand to help brace or stabilize ourselves. We're gonna elevate our feet, and we're tucking those knees in towards our chest. 8 to 10 reps there as well. Last movement for our prep is 3 to 5 repetitions of a vertical jump. So you do not need to cycle these together, okay? What I'm looking for is a nice hinge back. We're gonna use that hip extension and the swinging of the arms to reach up. So we wanna see a big jump, soft landing. Big jump, soft landing. You do not need to string these together. 3 to 5 repetitions of that vertical jump. Once you've cycled through 3 to 4 sets of that, you'll move on to our sweat piece. What we're doing today, you will need a timer. Anytime we have a time-specific element here, we recommend go ahead and download the Push Press Timer app. It's free. It works really well. It's audible. If you use it for things like running, it'll interrupt your music if you're doing intervals, and it'll tell you, hey, rest or go or whatever. So it's useful outside of these workouts as well. And for these, it's real visible. It's easy to see. So we like it. You don't have to use that one, but that's one that we recommend. Again, that is the Push Press Timer app. So today we have 9 rounds. We're gonna go through this series 9 times. Each movement has 20 seconds allocated to it, okay? Most of this is going to be a rep range. A couple of them, we're working for that full 20 seconds. So here's what it's gonna look like. You're gonna go from burpees, okay? 3 to 5 repetitions. You have 20 seconds to complete those. Once you're done, the remainder of that time is rest. Then you have air squats, 5 to 7 repetitions. Again, remainder of that time is rest. Okay, as you're done with those, 3 to 5 tuck jumps, remainder of that time resting. Then you'll be ready as that rest expires, ready to start immediately for the full 20 seconds glute bridge hold. Okay? Once you're done there, we have a full 20 seconds of rest. Okay? So, with this rest built in, we want those burpees to remain explosive and reactive. Okay, the air squats should be really strong. You should have plenty of rest in there, right? If I do all 7 reps, I'm moving pretty quickly on those. I should have about 10 seconds or so of rest remaining at the end, right? Anywhere from 8 to 10 seconds in that range. The tuck jump should be real quick, real explosive. You should have sufficient rest there before we go to our glute bridge hold. And then obviously those last 2 20-second blocks, you are holding and then resting for the entire 20 seconds before we come back and repeat. So on our burpees, when I say we want them to be explosive and quick, I mean when you drop to the ground, you're right back up, right? Here. And I'm done. If I lose that speed, I feel like it's taking me a lot longer than it was at first. Reduce the reps, okay? The goal is to keep it consistent and powerful the whole time. If that means you're only doing 3, just do 3, cool? If you're losing or you're not explosive on the burpee at all, substitute it with a squat thrust, okay? So that just is, as I drop down, I'm gonna stand. You can jump if you want. I prefer that hard hip extension lockout at the top versus the jump with the squat thrust. It cues me to stay braced when I drop back into that plank, okay? And that's a great way to swap out that burpee, keep it reactive if you don't have real strong horizontal pushing strength. Once we're done there, 5 to 7 air squats. So just making sure that we're not rushing through these for the sake of moving fast, okay? Here. Good positions throughout. I'm in control. I'm moving quickly, but with control. So move with purpose, move with intention. If you can't do that for 7 reps, then reduce it down. If you can't do it for 5, adjust it for yourself, right? Okay, we want to move well, but also powerfully with a little bit of explosiveness. Same thing when we get to our tuck jumps, right? Okay, I'm trying to land, go right back into that next rep. Okay, so it should look like this. Okay, as I go through, they're cyclical. I feel light on my feet. My heels aren't hitting the ground. Okay, I'm landing on the balls of my feet, and I'm reactively jumping right back up. If you can't do that, reduce the reps. If the tuck jump is really difficult for you, you can't pull your knees up without slamming your feet down to the ground. Turn it into just vertical jumps, focusing on a soft landing, right? But again, trying to make them a little bit more cyclical, real soft landing on these. Once you finish there, 20 seconds, glute bridge hold. Making sure we're driving our heels down into the floor. And we're also, I really like this, this tip or this variant, is imagining that you're kind of grabbing onto a bar, or pulling on a rope or something, and you're driving your elbows down into the floor while you're holding that hard glute bridge, okay? That really engages the upper back a lot more, makes it a lot more challenging, also hits that posterior, that pulling strength that's a little bit harder to do with body weight only movement. So again, I'm driving through my heels for my glutes and hamstrings, and I'm driving my elbows, pushing down into the floor with my upper arm as hard as I can, shoulder blades together, so I create a lot of tension through the backside of my body. After that, we have 20 seconds of just straight rest before we come back to our next set. Again, our goal here, guys, is to make sure that we are keeping the movements crisp and powerful and explosive throughout. So adjust your rep ranges accordingly. You should have rest every single interval with the exception of that glute bridge hold that is the entire 20 seconds. Last thing that we have is our breathe portion. As always, I want to remind you guys, do not omit this part. Take 5 minutes, close your eyes, deep belly breathing, deep diaphragmatic breathing. Okay, today's suggested pose is a seated forward fold. Okay, if that's not a great pose for you, or there's something that would help you recover a little bit more, you feel like, or you tend to carry tightness elsewhere, by all means, make that adjustment for yourself. The recommendation is the seated forward fold. So you're just gonna sit on your butt, reach down towards your toes, and then use your breath to help yourself relax into that stretch. If the use of a band or a strap around your feet or anchored somewhere helps to kind of hold you in that position, great, but you shouldn't be straining to pull into that position, right? You should feel a stretch, and you should use that breath work to relax further into that stretch. As always, if you can extend this by 5 or 10 additional minutes and integrate some meditation or mindfulness, we highly, highly recommend it. Other than that, enjoy your workout, and we'll see you next time.